Hello, this is Caillou here with Honchkrow David, and this is a round one match for Grand Prix Xi'an for the MSEM format. Today it's Kevin Norton on Blue Red Phoenix versus JustNobody on
Kevin
Blue Black Heart Collection, which is a control deck.
Kevin Norton is humorously on Kevin Norton's, which is gonna be fun.
Oh yeah, it's basically it's Blue Red Phoenix, but it's been dubbed Kevin Norton's.
I think that's because there was a hiccup in the deck submission, right? And he just put his name twice.
Yep, and now and
Yep.
now it's a meme.
We already have a Mulda 6 though, so obviously there's a hand that we just did not like. I really wish spectators could see public zones like the Graveyard and Exiled.
Yeah, so MSEM uses a program called Lackey, and one problem with Lackey is that, unlike other programs, you can't see the hand and graveyard when you're spectating a match.
Mm-hmm. Two keeps. JustNobody is still deciding on their keep, it looks like.
Mm-hmm. Which is interesting, because that probably means they have, like, cantrips or something, but they don't actually have the hate pieces that they were hoping to draw.
Right. I know we were talking about 3 Wave of Decays in the main. You're probably pretty happy seeing one of those in your starting hands, so maybe it's just an issue of he has ways to draw into it, like you said, and doesn't know if he wants to trust those.
Yeah, he probably Wave or Memento makes a keeping
Hmm.
hand.
Without a doubt, any one of those in your hand, you have to be happy to keep it instantly, especially against a Phoenix deck like this. All right, so we have first turn Mountain
So just
and
going directly for the face with the Scorch.
the classic main phase Lightning Bolt.
Yeah, but
Scorch is a sorcery, which is the balancing point of Lightning Bolt. So we're just going to take 3 points off of nobody's life
and I
total.
think that's honestly like the best JN could have hoped for that to go, because if Kevin had started like with Seek Prophecy or something, that would have been like, well, because once Kevin develops a board that's like more dangerous, but JN can afford to lose a little bit of life early because of villainy and everything.
Right. So Villainy, for those of you who may or may not be familiar, it's kind of an all-star. Whenever you cast a black non-creature spell, Villainy will deal 2 damage to whatever you want it to, and you gain 2 life. So these early, any fetches, these early life loss cards, Villainy will net you that life back in the end.
The one worry is like if JN doesn't have like the spells he wants, stuff like Through the Ashen Gates, if he wants to flash back, that's 2 life. Dark Bargain costs you essentially 1 life per each card you draw. So he's got Wave of Decay and Villainy for life gain, but if he doesn't have those yet, then Kevin doing the Scorch could just be the right play. Okay, we're seeing an Orchestrated Storm Surge into another Scorch. So that's 6 damage.
Oh, right. So you might just... So JustNobody is already down to 11, and you might have this. That incremental life loss from the flashbacks and the dark bargains might just be too much.
Mm-hmm. Like if his only play turn 2 here is Crack the Clue, then that's an issue.
Mm-hmm.
But
that
Kevin,
is an issue, but we also have to
2 cards in hand, while JN has a full, like almost a full clutch. So.
Yep. I was just about to. If JustNobody decides to duress here and takes him down to 1 card, then I would imagine that you'd feel a lot safer.
Mm-hmm.
But tap 2 mana, it looks like we're going to have a Strikebreaker out on the field.
That's an interesting play, because
that's
it feels like you won't be able to race Kevin. So
no.
I
wonder
like
though if he has
not having much else. But in that case, why not just wait and crack the clue? Like make it look like you're holding up Memento Mori or something.
Mm-hmm. Make him not feel safe dropping like a Phoenix here, which would bring JustNobody down to single digits.
Oh, he goes.
It looks like there's nothing for.
What is he?
Yeah.
He only has. Okay. I guess he has Mindstorm's Eye at instant speed.
Mm-hmm.
And Rod's Frenzy. But
let's see. He does have Frenzy. Mindstorm's Eye is a kind of a big play here because they're already on 2 cards. So Mindstorm's Eye says discard your hand, then draw 3 cards, and it also deals 3 damage to any target. So Mindstorm's Eye might be the best play. In response to a spell, you bolt the Strikebreaker, and then you just refill your hand.
Yeah. But I don't think he's holding it up for Strikebreaker though. I think he's holding up for Xi'an because Xi'an is just like a way more annoying card right now. Or not right now, I guess. But
That's
like
true.
Jayan's Grave is not full at all. But then like if it was like just like Xi'an, Island, Oracle's Vision, you're not in a great position.
Yeah. We just get in with the Strikebreaker and bring Kevin down to 19 and pass the turn. Cracking the clue did not find him what he wanted.
Okay, so Kevin is not advancing the turn yet, so he's probably thinking whether to boldface or bold strike. Yep, Mindstorm's Eye.
Yep.
So it's 3 up.
Yep, 3 to face. Refill our hand and untap with a grip of cards and tapped lands.
Okay, so we know one of the cards he discarded was Storm Surge.
Yeah, I wonder if there was a play pattern where he was contemplating doing the Orchestrate for Storm Surge before you Mindstorm's Eye.
He didn't have the
But
mana.
I think that's just too reliant on drawing the next land.
He's tapping a mountain.
Are we just going to see the bolt?
Flames on Strikebreaker.
Okay.
So I guess that means he doesn't have more burn in hand. That's something we can infer. So Unceasing Flames, for those who are not familiar with the format, is a unique card because MSEM is played on digital. That's pretty much the only reason this card works. But basically, every time you cast, it starts off as a shock, and every time you cast it, you make and shuffle 3 copies of it into your library, and each subsequent time it does X plus 2 damage, where X is the number of Unceasing Flames in your graveyard.
Yeah, so now we have to JustNobody is at 8 life. The pressure of just a chain of Unceasing Flames is a real threat now.
Oh, another Strikebreaker. I think Kevin might have another Mindstorm's Eye, just straight up.
Ooh.
Oh, Duress. Okay, so now we're gonna
Duress, so we're gonna get a token from the Strikebreaker.
So
yep.
Oh no.
2 lands. Ooh, that is not where you want to be.
Oh, that's painful. This was looking great for Kevin, and now it's. So I see now why he killed the Strikebreaker, because he had nothing else.
There was no other option. Yeah. Tapped land for nobody. We're gonna pass the turn, and he might have stabilized at 8 life.
Yeah. It was looking grim for him.
It was. Still, though, threats he has to worry about is that Unceasing Flames, because it's always going to escalate damage. We have a Seek Prophecy.
Unfortunately,
try to find a threat. Nope, no prophecies for us. All right, we are just we're getting Kevin to. I guess we're going to have him drop the 3 revealed cards onto the table, so spectators can see.
And 2 lands. Okay, he's taking the Mindstorm.
2 lands. Absolutely, and with nobody tapped out, it looks like. Is the play pattern Mindstorm to the face or Mindstorm to the Strikebreaker?
I think at this point you want to just try it. Like, you want a Mindstorm face, hope you draw into more removal next turn.
Okay, yeah. Because also, JustNobody is almost out of cards. We have 4 lands here and 3 cards.
I don't think, even though Mindstorm's Eye is instant speed, I don't think you want to wait. Because if JN has like a Thought Blossom or something, that can be really damaging. So I think you just cast Mindstorm's Eye right now on face and then move on.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and he's seeing that play.
That is exactly what we're seeing. Leaving 1 land untapped just in case we draw into an Unceasing Flames.
Or Scorch, or anything really.
Or Scorch, yeah. JustNobody is at 5 life. Gotta be sweating right now with all this damage on.
Okay. Oh, he's tapping the Frostfire Geysers. And yeah, Unceasing
There is
Flames.
another Unceasing Flame.
Is it going to...
Not a make copy though, so this is just a natural unceasing flames that they have.
Okay, so 3 to face, and oh no, he's now at...
Left at 2 life. We do know that he has 2 cards in hands. Are
So,
unknown cards because Mindstorm's Eye pitched his other hand of lands.
so yeah, so what can JN do here? Like, he could, I guess he could Wave of DK for 3. Also, I don't know, was that a mistake?
Wave of
Was
Decay.
that a mistake by JN not cracking his Baron, or does he have like Wave in hand and wants to get maximum value out of it, and so he's hoping to draw another land? I'm not sure.
I think he was hoping to yeah, because he took a card. I think he was hoping to get another land drop. Maybe Villainy for the play, and then do something to get 2 to the face, kind of stabilize at 4 life,
Yeah.
make it a little bit harder for to be burned out.
Yeah, so he needs Villainy plus non-creature spell or Wave of DK for 3 here.
Mm-hmm. Now, even even if he does drop Villainy in a non-creature spell, he is dead to another Unceasing Flames because they now do 4 damage.
Mm-hmm.
Just nobody thinking about what they want to do.
I think it's plausible. Like, Memento, like, play Villainy, keep up Memento Mori in case he has a Phoenix and not actual burn.
Right.
I mean, that would be the ideal, but JN, it, like, from the sounds of it, JN does not have the ideal hand at all.
No, it seems like, all right, well, we're tapping 2 lands.
For
Deadly
dead
Manipulation. All right.
man? Okay.
Get the construct.
Is he...
Looking to... What do we see here? 2 to the face.
Okay, but now is he going to copy the Duress? Like, what does JN have in grave? Just Duress, right?
Right?
He has Duress or the one invest...
He does have the Investigate card still.
But I think you want a Duress here, buddy. More than anything.
Yeah, you want to duress him and then just pray that... Okay.
Oh, can Deadman cast
Oh, okay.
Duress at
Are
instant
we going...
speed?
Yes, it can. I was just reading it. Are we going to see an upkeep duress?
Yeah, on your draw.
Yep, on the draw
on
step.
Your draw step.
Oh, tapping 2.
Duress.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, so we are seeing that pseudo flashback with Deadly Manipulation. The first ability is tap a blue and discard a card. You can exile target instant or sorcery card from your graveyard and then copy it and cast the copy.
Oh, okay.
So
but
we see...
it doesn't matter here.
It
that was...
doesn't. 2 Firebirds.
And a reprising bar. There's literally no legal targets. And and that's game. He has no outs.
That's game.
So that's game
No
1.
legal targets, no lands untapped.
So in a convincing game 1,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
And just
there it is,
measure.
the Firebird and attack.
Okay. So
the good old attack and empty board.
That seemed to be like a really unlucky game for JN, to be fair.
It does. That going all the way back to when he was thinking about keeping that hand, it looked like it did not pay off for him. We gotta think though. I know we were talking about sideboards and how another Wave of Decay is an easy one to bring in, but we did not see much going wide this game. Kevin went right for the face the entire time.
But I think Wave of DK also just doubles as like kill a Phoenix, gain some life, you know? Like Wave of DK on 3. I think you're perfectly content with dropping Wave of DK on 3 just to like kill their thing and stabilize a little bit. So as for stuff that's coming in, I think we'll probably... I don't know how high JN is on Duress, but I think what he would probably want is Duress is out, Seal the Tombs in, Wave of DK in, and then maybe -2 Deadman for +2 Wither. With the
Mm,
the constant burn on Wither is definitely something.
Whether, yeah, the way we saw such an explosive start from Kevin, you gotta wonder if Just Nobody is hesitant on bringing in a emblem that drains you for one every upkeep.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Now, do you think this is a match the way we saw just the spell chaining from Kevin's deck? Do you think this is a match where Onyx Ritualist comes in at all?
No, definitely not.
Definitely not.
Because again, like
Go ahead.
all his stuff is dealing 3. Draining him for 2,
Yeah.
like doesn't matter. Like again, JN, it would work if JN had like a faster clock. If this was like Hersey's deck, where
Hmm.
you have like lots more low to the ground creatures which can put pressure on and which otherwise have damaging abilities, I think that's the perfect kind of shell for Onyx Ritualist. But right now,
Okay, yeah, I see where you're coming from.
anyways, meanwhile, on Kevin's side, we were talking about his sideboard earlier, which is really Performer of Desire because the it's just such a bomb. And then Starlit Rays
Hmm.
to turn JN off, all blue,
The,
and basically force him to have swamps or lose.
I definitely think you see Starlit Rays as at least one come in from the sideboard, maybe both of
Mm-hmm.
them. Because yeah, like you said, it turns off the Fabled side, which you can cast Starlit Rays for 2, and its non-basic lands do not untap during target player's next untap step.
Mm-hmm.
But the Transformed side, which you can pay 4, it enchants a player, and it is Blood Moon for one single player. So non-basic lands are mountains, they lose all abilities and only have tap to add colorless. So this would turn off every single blue source in Just Nobody's deck.
Mm-hmm. And JN has this also affects fetches, which is huge. The
Hmm.
But JN naturally has 5 swamps in his deck, which is fine, but it also makes it difficult to cast Villainy, which is triple black, Memento Mori, which is double black, and Wave of Decay, which you can only spend black on. So it cuts off all of JN's
Right.
outs.
And with Jan's only main deck counter spells, now I think he's going to bring in Mind Rips,
Mm-hmm.
but with his only 2 counter spells right now being an instant or sorcery spell, you have to pick your battles. And if you're fighting between, I need to counter these bolts to keep my life total up, you might just get hit with a resolved, Fable effect.
Yep. Okay. Oops.
Ooh, and we see a no lander for Kevin, just showing the table for us.
Mm-hmm.
Bunch of good cards, but no way to drop them.
Also,
So we're gonna
that
ship
was
that hand
interesting. We
back.
saw him bring in Amulet of Loyalties. Why did he bring in Amulet of Loyalties?
That is weird.
Did he miss
Let me see.
like I for Dead Man?
Maybe deadly manipulation. Maybe he really wants that the pseudo flashback that it brings. Dark bargain. You could turn it. You could turn it into your own card advantage, but you don't have.
But I
Kevin
think
doesn't
it
have
might
the
have been
black
like
source to cast it.
bad like sideboard evaluation from Kevin in the sense of like I don't think Jayan is probably going to keep lots of Dead Man's in or like lots of Dark Bargains in. I could be wrong, but
Now, maybe it is because we know how well Kevin can chain spells, so maybe it is just to activate Celine the Cruel
wait,
on the off
what is
chance that
Kevin
just
doing?
what is.
Oh, he got
Oh, okay,
duress.
we
Never
see.
mind.
Yes, turn 1 duress. I was watching the deck, so we did not see this. We have
So the game
Seek
starts.
Prophecy is. Yep, game start. Mountain, 2 fetch lands, Seek Prophecy, Scorch, and an amulet.
Okay.
I think we're just gonna see classic Mountain Scorch again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, looking at other sideboard options, Isochron Wand lets him win the long game. And then
Hmm.
Chaldron's Rage is good versus Strikebreaker, but I think your deck just wants to outrace Strikebreaker anyways. And then Festival of Winter's Night is good against Villainy. So
Festive, yeah.
Kevin's entire sideboard has like
Festival of
utility
Winter's
here and
Night.
there, but it depends on what choices he made. And I guess the choice he made was Amulet of Loyalties.
Uh, it'll be interesting to see how this amulet pays off. Now he has to take a lot of damage from his mana base here, 2 to bring in his fetch land untapped, and he taps this land and drained for 1 life because he does not control 2 basics.
Yeah. So even though he even though he bolted his opponent's face, he is at the exact same amount of life because he bolted himself to cast it.
Yep. JustNobody has to be happy with that. You see a duress, you take their way to refill your hand, and you see your opponent drop a land and pay 3 to bolt you. You got to be feeling confident about that start.
Yeah, and like, what else did Kevin have in hand? He had Amulet of Loyalties, 2 lands, and something else.
A mountain
Oh, three.
and a
Oh, so he
scorch.
had 3 lands. Okay, so yeah, it's
Yes.
just all lands plus all lands plus Amulet is. Oh, and Seal the Tomb on
Oh,
Scorch.
it. I think that's the play.
Oh,
No. Oh, the fetch
oh
land,
no, because he has two. Because he has two in
cutting him.
hand, right? Or no.
Yeah, he has at least one more in hand. Yeah.
Oh,
So we see Seal the Tomb is our format's graveyard hate. It is 1 black, and it's choose target card in a graveyard other than a basic land. You get to search the owner's graveyard, hand, and library for all copies of that card, and then exile them. So what we've seen it here, he has targeted the Magmatic Torrent, which is Kevin's fetch land that he just used to search up this Crystal Cavern, and now we are seeing all remaining fetch lands in his deck gone.
I'm actually interested about this as a play because I I
It's
feel like.
we saw
Oh, sorry, go ahead. I was just like, I personally feel like you want to take out Kevin's gas, not give him more, because he's on 2 mana
right.
right
This
now.
is gonna thin his deck, but it also prevents him from shuffling. So if Kevin has a land heavy top of his library, then they are just stuck.
Also, JN is telling me that from the hand reveal, Kevin has Isochron Wand and Amulet in hand.
Okay. Oh, so he did bring in the wand, trying to just go the long game.
Yeah, so actually, so Exile and Scorch would have been the better play here, because now if he draws Scorch, plays Isochron Wand, he's in
Hmm.
a really good place.
Yep. I wonder if that's the play pattern we will see. Although this all happened on Kevin's end step, so JustNobody
Wait,
has a
so
turn.
wait, where did the mountain go actually? Because he had a mountain.
Is 3 cards in hand. So is the mountain the
Oh
third
no,
card in
yeah,
hand?
sorry,
Because you
sorry. I
only
was looking
see.
at his graveyard and I was like, there's two cards here. Never mind. Yeah, hand. So he's got mountain, Isochron Wand, and Amulet of Loyalties. Okay, flooded more.
Oh no, this was on his
Oh no! Stolen
turn.
Secrets.
Ooh,
Instant?
instant. What are we gonna see drop? Oh, Rogar's Frenzy.
Wait, so what was he talking about sideboard wand?
Oh, when he was searching the library, he saw the sideboard wands come in from the library,
Ah,
not one in hand.
okay.
Okay.
That was such a good play. So Kevin is just really on the back foot right now.
Yeah, Kevin has Kevin just drops the mountain and passes the turn out of cards, hoping to draw Mindstorm's Eye or something. But this is all gas for nobody. Just nobody.
Yeah, maybe Kevin has Rogs and he's waiting to see if I mean, the best case scenario is Kevin drew another Rogs Frenzy and is just hoping
Hmm.
because if JN drops a creature, he has to kill it at this point. He doesn't have the chance to race.
Yeah, no. That is something that maybe just nobody will feel comfortable after peeling so much removal from Kevin's hand to just throw out a creature and maybe will get eaten by a top decked Rogers.
That's literally the only thing. I mean, I guess
Hmm.
he could draw Scorch on his next turn and then kill it, but you're at that point you're fine with the tempo loss.
No, just nobody missed a land drop. He just untaps, draws a card, and passes.
Oh my god! Oh, and he did have the end step.
And this is the top decked Rogars?
I feel like he should have saved it though. Almost, I don't know,
Yeah.
because if he doesn't have a third land, how is he gonna And oh my god,
Oh, and he still has to. Oh no, he still has to pay 1 life to even cast this.
Yeah, like I don't know if that was the play. And JN, okay,
We'll
so
we'll
and
have to
JN
see.
not casting anything tells me he has, and not countering that tells me he has Memento Mori, right?
Yeah, if you had the counterspell, unless it's a mind rip, but if you had the
No, he
is it
doesn't have the
Thought
mana for
Blossom?
Mind Rip, so it has to be Memento Mori, or he's trying to scare him into thinking he has a Memento Mori, but he actually has it through the Ashen Gate.
Mm-hmm. All right, we are going to see this resolved Amulet of Loyalties because it is not an instant or sorcery spell, so it is uncounterable
Mm.
by any of nobody's available
Mm.
counters.
But at this point, nobody just, I don't think he really cares. He's fine with that. Kevin is out of cards in hand.
Yeah. Oh,
Oh,
and here comes. Is this a Rogar's? Yes, it is. So seal the tomb, targeting Rogar's Frenzy.
okay.
Shut off all those elemental token activations.
Yeah, that's another powerful play. So he only
Back
has
in the
three
library, digging
Rogars.
out. Yep.
That is, though, he only has one more Seal the Tomb left. So,
Right. So spending these seal the tombs early on Phoenixes might be a mistake. These
I mean,
three Rogar's
you mean
Frenzies
spending
are
them
the only.
early and then not on Phoenixes?
Yes, sorry. Um, yes, sorry. I got ahead of myself there. These three Rogar's Frenzies are the only ones in the list, so might have wanted to save that for the Phoenix.
Yeah, and because JN has better ways of dealing with Rogs tokens
Hmm.
than he does with Phoenixes, just because of like the haste on the Phoenixes, etc. And like Seal, I guess his thought process is probably that like the best use of Seal on a Phoenix is when they're trying to commit to bring it back, and then you just stop them. Oh, that's a villainy.
Oh, that's resolve villainy.
And with how behind Kevin is, that could just be game.
This, yeah. No activated abilities on it, so you can't Amulet of Loyalties it. This is so far behind for Kevin. 1 card in hand. What do we got?
Oh my god. He shifts his amulet of loyalties a little bit ahead. Oh, he has something. He's going to main one.
Oh, is it a
It looks
Scorch?
like. Oh my
The
god.
classic face Scorch.
Again, I think this is a mistake. I think he should have held out for the Isochron wand
Hmm.
because that's the only way you're beating this now. Because JN has 2 cards in hand. He's gonna draw a third next turn,
Yeah,
and like he super doesn't care about missing you with. Like he's gonna play his Duresses and Stolen Secrets just for the damage and life gain. Probably.
yeah, because each of those cards now is pulling double duty, where it puts you on a significant clock.
Hmm. You know what'd be crazy? Just drop another villainy here. No. Oh, Dark Bargain. That's good. Okay.
Okay, there we go. Start the drain.
Hmm.
The double villainy, a classic monologue.
Um.
Nope, but we are just going to cash in for 2 cards this dark bargain here.
Mhm. I guess. Otherwise, he needs to draw right now.
Hmm. I honestly I feel like Kevin on 0 cards in hand. It is safe to cash in this dark bargain because JustNobody has been missing land drops. So maybe you just want to you got the villainy out. You can stabilize. Maybe you just want to dig through your deck, find some lands.
Yeah. Like the only thing, like Kevin, if Kevin top decks a Phoenix, then you'll take the damage and then probably kill it with something like anything will kill it next turn. Top decking a
Hmm.
Mindstorm's Eye is more problematic, but then there's not much you can do about it. Okay, Oracle's Vision. See, actually, Oracle's Vision is kind of a double-edged
Oh,
sword in this matchup because depending on what Kevin ends up milling, it could,
it could he could mill a Phoenix,
yeah. But
and
Kevin
there it
doesn't.
is. There's a
Yeah, but there's a Phoenix. Maybe Jayan is hoping for
he.
that because
Yep. Maybe that's what he was hoping for because with no cards in hand, there's no way to cast it, and that was the next draw he was going to have. So uh, it did take away 1 threat,
and
but just nobody has drawn 3 cards this turn and not played a land yet.
yeah, and then yeah. So getting, oh, there's a land, But getting hit with Myoga
Okay, there.
Firebird into Mindstorm's Eye would have been like that would have been a great sequence of cards for Kevin, and just losing it. Just
That might have turned the game back around in their favor.
Mhm. So that Murmuring Falls untapped tells me he either does not have any other cards that he can play, or he has his last Seal to Tomb plus a Through the Ashen Gates, and he's kind of just
Through the Ashen Gates is
no, he does. He just I guess he doesn't
yeah,
even
he's
have anything else to
probably
play. And Kevin does the classic draw go.
no control cards in this deck though. That draw go is absolutely just an out of gas option.
Mm-hmm. So Jan is thinking here. Okay,
Untapped.
2 for
Yep.
Memento Mori. Oh no, never mind.
Nope.
Strike
We got
Breaker.
Windmill Slam that I bet with
Yeah, he's just going for the throat here,
with
really.
yeah, with the position you're in, you feel super safe just casting that down.
Yeah, because
And then
yep, Juris, he doesn't really care if he hits or not. Yeah, Island.
oh, it's an island in his hand.
Eh, he's perfectly fine getting the construct and draining for 2.
Almost happy at this point, right?
Mm-hmm.
You see that island, and that victory is just 2 attacks away.
Yep, another go to end.
Mm-hmm. Untap. Mindstorm's Eye still gets them out of this.
Mindstorm's Eye on Performer,
Well,
and then
yeah. So we drop our island. Oh no, is it another land?
it's land or a Mindstorm's Eye, but then like if it was Mindstorm's Eye, why not just cast it right now, buddy?
You would yeah, because you might draw into a Scorch. You might draw into I don't know if they have any other one drop, but you want to cast that while nobody is close to tapped out, so they can't, counter it.
Go
Getting
ahead.
in for 2.
Yep. He's
Life totals
Kevin
are
is
almost
okay.
polar opposite of the last game.
Mm-hmm. With 3 cards in hand and a villainy, this is
This is basically the dream. This is what
oh
you
my
want.
god, and
And
it's
a
the land
Celine. Oh
with
no.
10 cards in graveyard. This is over. This game is just over.
Oh. This went from Kevin has 2 turns to stabilize to Kevin has to draw what he needs now. Like this is his
But what even
last.
gets Kevin out of the situation? Like, honest to God.
I don't know. Because you
Cause
have
Jan,
3
oh my
Celine
god, it's
activations.
just another land
It's another. Oh no. All right, we're tapping 2.
for.
Main phase wand. Oof. Main
But
phase
he
wand
doesn't
with
have
no other
anything. I
cards in
think
hand.
that's just a concession because he doesn't have anything.
Mm-hmm.
That's
No, that's a you got me.
yeah.
Move on to game 3 right there.
Unless he misread it.
Does he think it can grab a card from the graveyard? No, it does say hand.
I think Kevin. I think this is Kevin.
Yeah, and JN sees that as well. Says, "Wait, you have nothing in hand."
I think this is. I think this is Kevin just conceding.
Yeah, let's move on to game 3 here.
Except he's not saying it. Mysterious.
Mysterious.
But yeah, if this is a concession, it's gonna be a slow and grueling one, I guess.
Mm. It's one of those you have to beat me down concessions.
It's about
I'm
sending.
not just gonna pick up my card.
It's about sending a message. Good one. Well, if he draws like Scorch next turn, he's gonna feel so sad though.
Oh yeah, swinging with the team.
Mm-hmm.
Bring Kevin down to 4 life here, and does he main phase anything, or does he just say, "Okay, go ahead"?
If JN has any spells he can play, like 2 spells just wins him the game right here. Like
Yeah.
if he wants to be flashy, cast another villainy or something. Oh no, never mind. He's just which tells me he has Mind Drip. The fact that he's not casting anything.
Probably. Yeah, he's holding on for a mind rip. Even on one, you can grab a Scorch, Villainy, and then
Copy and cast nothing.
Scorch. Yep.
Oh yeah, he has a play.
Oh, is this a... Nope, it's not a Scorch. We got two lands.
Rocks? Reprising.
All right, what does that get him? I think there is a Mindstorm in his graveyard.
Does JN have... But the problem is, does JN have enough to counter it? JN can't counter this.
With the... He can counter it with the Mind Rip if he brought him in from the side.
Okay, the Mind Rip. If he has the Mind Rip, then this
Yeah.
game is just over. Oh, no.
Mm.
So it's just...
No counters. We're going to see some targets. What are we reprising?
This actually... This one reprising bard actually suddenly changes the landscape of this game a lot.
It does, yeah. It targets the Mindstorm's Eye. Now you gotta go face. You can't... I mean, you don't want a free Mindstorm's Eye popping when your opponent has no cards.
So yeah, attacking with everything would probably be a mistake.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, JN still is like if JN has two black non-creature spells, he wins.
Yeah.
That's one. Yeah.
One is Oracle's Vision.
And that has a potential to draw him into
Drain for
that's
2.
I already have one.
Three cards in hand. You gotta think he has.
He's gonna like shoot the reprising bard.
It's right there. You know you want to target it. Yeah, he's Villainy at. What are you pointing it at? Oh.
Huh?
Oh.
What are you doing, JN?
So we have play pattern of we're going to shock the bard and turn a construct into an extra card.
What is he sacking the construct to?
Celine, whenever you cast a spell, sacrifice a permanent and draw a card.
Oh.
It turns with, if you have a Strikebreaker out, it turns every card you have into just draw a card.
Okay, so that tells me that he definitely didn't have the second non-creature spell. But then what does he have in hand?
Right. That's interesting. He didn't just have...
And just like...
Okay.
Could he have like he probably has second copy of Selene in that case. Maybe a dead Pot Blossom, but I don't know why he'd keep Pot Blossom.
Maybe.
Maybe like...
Well, you would Thought Blossom this up. If you have the Thought Blossom, you would Thought Blossom this Mindstorm's Eye, wouldn't you?
Oh yeah, good point. Yeah, what could it be? And if he has lands, why hasn't he played them?
Maybe just to hold up spells. I don't... This is a very interesting... Does this get Kevin back in this game at 4 life? You would think not, right? Because Celine and the token can still attack.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so we have a lot of triggers here. So he resolves the sacrifice a permanent, draw a card. Then he draws a card and loses a life from Villainy. Then Strikebreaker makes another token. Then the Villainy destroys the reprising bard.
Still. Because
it might not have been. He
no,
might
because
want
you
to
just Oracle's Vision, Villainy face, and then attack with everything you win.
Oh, that is true. Yeah. Okay, so Strikebreaker dies.
Is JN just trying to style? I've never seen... JN is a very efficient player from what I've seen. I don't think I've seen him try to style before.
No, this isn't for style. This is to guarantee. Although, or you were right. Oracle's Vision and then just swing to the face.
And Kevin gassing back up means he could potentially draw into another Mindstorm's Eye.
Mm-hmm.
Which Mindstorm's Eye...
Oracle's Vision on the stack. Oh, because Oracle's Vision hasn't even resolved yet.
Mm-hmm.
This is all happening on top of this Sorcery Speed Mill 3. no matter what happens from this has been fun to
Oh
watch.
yeah.
Just to get a peek into just nobody's mind. And he mills himself a duress, a memento mori, and a villainy.
Meanwhile, Kevin
Ooh,
reprising bard beat from Chaff. Ugh, okay, not too bad, but
okay.
there's way better hits you could have actually, and you want your reprising bards in hand slash library.
Yeah. All right, so swing through,
For 3.
put Kevin at 1.
Okay, no, it's down to 1.
Yep. Are we
Oh,
No, the token doesn't have haste. So he sacrificed Okay. He sacrificed the token that he already had out and then made a new construct. So Kevin is at 2, dead to any villainy trigger.
mhm. And Jan has 5 cards in hand.
There's gotta
Yeah,
be. There it is. Yeah, okay.
yeah, this is over.
So that whole sequence was just style.
I, why is he more sack construct as though it matters? You know what would have been the real YOLO play there? Just like in
that
response, I Mindstorms I myself.
right.
Okay, so we're going to
Okay,
game
that
3.
was
I
game 3 in what has been one of my fun game 2s to watch.
I mean it was fun, but
Do we
also
see
it was painful to see that happen to Kevin.
it was, and to see Kevin start on such like a shaky hand and then almost stabilize,
Yeah, and then it's
you
so
gotta
close yet so far.
you gotta feel for it. Uh, does the play pattern change? Does uh,
Oh,
Kevin take
they
out
didn't
these
sideboard
Amulet of
anything,
Loyalty?
right? I don't think. Well, let me scroll
Uh,
up. Yeah, they sideboarded nothing,
no.
so they're sticking with the same.
A shuffle draw. Let's go.
I'm surprised, but okay. And for the first time
Back up.
this set, they're both keeping.
All right, we have our third and final game of Magic. Kevin is on the play, and we are going to see.
He's actually okay. Fetch land.
Okay, I was gonna. Is that a is that a no lander
No, no.
that we
I
kept
think it
there?
was more like I think he was thinking, should I fetch land in case of Seal the Tomb, that kind of thing. But
Mm,
I think his thought is, deck thinning benefits me anyways.
that's true. That's true. And we definitely saw him. He
Oh,
eventually
island.
drew into his
Okay, so
lands.
that means Seek
All right.
Prophecy.
Yep.
Seek Prophecy.
Get this out of the way before it gets duressed.
Oh, reprising and see. Oh, this is actually a hard choice. I think.
Ooh.
I think you'd likely want to, yeah, Bard, because it does the same thing as
I
Seek
think.
Prophecy, really.
Mm-hmm. Because Seek Prophecy, for those who are not familiar, puts the 2 cards you do not choose into your graveyard. So grabbing the Reprising Bard lets you cast, if it resolves, lets you cast any one of the other 2 cards that Kevin passed over.
Yeah, so Kevin, because Seek Prophecy that he cast goes to his grave anyways, the other Seek Prophecy goes to his grave, and then there's the Unceasing Flames, which I
Mm-hmm.
think he'd probably want to grab the Unceasing Flames, but depending on what his hand looks like now, he might just grab Seek Prophecy just for more digging.
Yeah, if I think you go Seek Prophecy. If just nobody untaps, swamps, and duresses, you go Seek Prophecy and just refill your hand.
Yeah. Or even like he doesn't have any turn.
Swamp and pass.
That's actually
Okay.
surprising because
Nope.
he has he
No
has
turn.
Dark Bargain, he has the Investigate thing. Not having a turn 1 play is actually surprising considering Jane's curve.
Right. Now, what is the through the Ashen Gate is instant speed, so we might just
Oh
be
yeah, that's true.
waiting to cast it on end step.
Um,
But we see Kevin thinking, what do they want to do?
it's always a
Just
good
nobody
sign when the
shifts their swamp a
player,
little bit.
because this is a fairly linear deck. So when he's taking the time to think, then you know that there's like something more going on.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, he's not tapping both. Another Seek Prophecy.
No.
Okay.
Okay.
Which
You would
which
think you
also
want to get
explains why he didn't keep to grab Seek Prophecy there. But yeah.
yeah. All right, we have a can be cast from exile spawned.
Oh, is this the Seek Prophecy that he? No, because he couldn't have
No, he did not have
the prophecy, the mana
open
to pay
land
for
to tap.
prophecy because it's been changed. It used to be
Oh,
free. So yeah, it's 2 lands. I'm okay. Grabbing Storm Surge makes
2 lands
sense,
and Storm
but
Surge.
also like with that means he has a third land, right? That must mean that.
Yeah, if he passes on those 2 lands, then he has to have the third one. We're just going to orchestrate a Storm Surge here.
Mhm.
Kind of like Suspend. Orchestrate says you can exile this card from your hand anytime for its cost. And then the next time you cast a spell, not just an instant or sorcery, but any card you cast lets you cast an orchestrate card from exile.
It's kind of like a what is a Kamigawa mechanic where
Uh
where you could add the spell's effects to
oh
it.
yes,
It,
Splice.
it, it's it's like Splice except without
It
the
is like
rules
a
weirdness, and it's like pre-Splice.
yeah.
Okay, so we see JN gets a. He's got both of his colors now, and
Yep.
oh, Dead
And
Man
we're going to
just
main
taps.
phase deadly manipulation.
This has been a weird sequence of cards for both decks. I feel like.
This is this has got to be a slow lumbering start. They want to make sure that there's no misplays. They want to make sure that just that they're not going to run anything out too early. I'm guessing.
But so yeah, so seeing that JN has a Dead Man, the Amulet of Loyalties was the right choice.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, we're just
Wheat from Chaff.
cantripping for days.
Kevin is just building the perfect hand.
Okay.
Oh, Wheat from Chaff does orchestrate Storm Surge.
Mm-hmm.
So we see Just Nobody fall to 17, first damage of the game 3. Gets his clue, gets his 2 cards, and what are we discarding?
He's thinking about it.
All right, we
Okay,
are
Crystal Cavern,
discarding.
and okay, so two more lands. That's actually a really
Ooh,
good sign because that means that he's run through like half the lands in his deck at this point.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, that would have been scary. Oh yeah, and that's Magmatic. Yeah, he's thinning. He's like no
Yeah,
lands in my
he's
deck ever again. I'm all we're just all
does not
gassing.
want to be caught. Yep. All right, so we see Magmatic Torment going to come in untapped and fetch
Another prop.
Frostfire Geysers.
Yep.
Do we have another spell?
I mean, even if he doesn't, he has the clue, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's going to moves the clue around. Says he's looks like he's going to just sack the clues at the play pattern.
Which I feel like you wouldn't want to do that.
I feel like you would.
How
Nope. Okay, we are just
Okay, so yeah,
reprising
because
guard.
I'm just saying, like, you might want to act like you're keeping up frogs, even if you don't have frogs. But
Mm-hmm.
since he's yeah main phasing this, it's okay. So probably Unceasing Flames at this point, yeah, because he's already cantripped
Yep.
so much. So now he's got a
He's got
quap,
the hand.
which is
Yep.
worrisome for JN.
And yeah, there's a clock on the field, and JN is just with nothing but a deadly manipulation on the field.
And the problem is like other than villainy, all of JN's ways to win the game will need.
Although I feel.
Yeah, there's villainy. Okay,
Yep, as you say it, I felt it coming.
but yeah, all of his other ways to win the game basically can't get around a reprising part because they're all grounded creatures.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think probably I Okay. But if you're JN, do you shock the Bard, or would you just try to keep going face with Villainy? What do you think?
Uh,
Oh, Amulet
I
of
would say
Loyalties,
you
the
could.
sideboard tech, it's
Oh,
happening.
the sideboard tech is coming through. Now you can. Now Kevin has access to his entire graveyard of 11 cards.
Mm-hmm.
That is huge. Uh, but no, as you asked, I think the first. Ooh,
And that also
the
might be why he
first.
didn't discard Phoenixes, as stupid as it sounds, because like
Mhm.
this way, like actually no, but because like he might be worried about grave hate, so he can cast his Phoenixes, and anything in his grave he can just instantly grab a Deadly Man if
Yeah,
Jane doesn't exile. Um, yeah, this is looking like a pretty even game right now. It kind of just depends. Like, does JN have the gas to burn out Kevin? Because if the rest of
right.
JN's hand is like slow, then that's not going to be good.
No, but if he has some. Oh, not even duress is very good anymore because you just dump it in the graveyard.
Mm-hmm.
This amulet of loyalties is huge. All right, 3 mana. Are we seeing a second villainy? The
Oh my
monologue
god.
is coming.
Okay.
2 villainies.
And I think will he kill the reprising bard for the card draw and just take the unceasing? Taking the unceasing.
Hmm. Uh, at this point, you.
I think taking the
Ooh,
unceasing is fine. You just kill the reprising bard.
yeah. At this point, you're comfortable because you were gaining 4 life. Oh,
Huh?
little bit of a misplay. There are no targets on this villainy trigger from the first villainy.
I think he's just doing it in response to his villainy trigger.
Okay. Yeah, fetching the land in response to that.
Oh yeah, I guess he just didn't realize. Oh right, villainy triggers villainy. Oh. Okay. So Jan's life total does not change,
No, not.
but then Unceasing Flames does give Kevin more gas here.
Yeah, but I think with 2 resolved villainies, you are comfortable with, just
The one
shuffling a
thing is
couple
just that
shocks
Jan's life
into your.
total is a little bit low right now. Like he's going to go to 12. So if Kevin can
It
just like
is.
if Kevin can be like a little bit explosive on his next turn, like well, what is the most explosive thing he could do? Like probably drop a
Uh,
land.
I think land Mindstorm's Eye, and then you just pass next turn. You go nuts with Deadly Manipulation.
Or actually, no. I think it's land, weed from chaff, like the thing that Jane was saying earlier, like land, weed from chaff, discard 2 Phoenixes, and then have 3 cantrips, and then just go off.
Oh yeah. Okay. And even if you don't draw Wheat from Chaff, you have it in the graveyard.
Yeah. God, yeah. This Amulet of Loyalty is it's a very specific. Like it only works in this very specific situation, but it has worked out.
It
50% of the time, it works 100% of the time.
You miss 100% of the shots you never take.
Mm-hmm. Wayne Gretzky.
Michael Scott. Uh, so let's see what happens here. Untapped drew a card, but has not played a land yet. Just mulling over their options, wondering what they want to do.
Because there's a lot of things they can do here, and I think that like a misplay could just like yeah, I guess the problem is even the Phoenix play, if Jane's got 5 cards. If Jane has like a single non-creature, then they just shock
Hmm.
both of the Phoenixes and gain 4.
Yeah,
And effectively you've made like a big play just for like 2. But yeah, so like Kevin is really on the back foot here.
Kevin is, and what you were saying about misplays, they have a graveyard of 13 cards, so they really have to think very carefully about what they want to do here.
So they're tapping Frostfire Geysers. Okay, they're playing an Unseasoned
All
Flames.
right. Unceasing Flames now deals 3, makes 3 more flames. Just Nobody down to 9.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's it?
And then just passes the turn. No lands.
Okay, so
Did not find a land on his...
So this means one of two things.
Ooh.
They have Rogs, or they're planning to use Deadly Man at instant speed.
Could. They could just Deadly Man another Unceasing
But
Flame.
that would be bad, right? Because you don't want to exile your Unceasing Flames.
You don't, but it does give you 3 more. Oh no. Seal the Tomb.
It's choose target card. Wait, how does that work?
Yeah, seal. It's so you seal all the copies of Unceasing Flames. They're all gone.
Yeah, this makes sense.
All right,
In response, just
okay.
dead man it.
Yeah. You gotta keep that in your graveyard.
I mean, it goes from the graveyard, but all the copies in your deck.
Well, you want to keep the one you have in your graveyard from being Seal the Tombed.
So what is Kevin discarding with this though?
Ooh, does he remember to
discard?
discard?
Flames. Oh, that was a huge play.
Yeah.
Oh no! Oh, I thought he was discarding Unceasing. He's discarding Isochron Wand. Actually, why would you discard Isochron Wand? Wait.
I don't know.
Wait, why would you not just cast Isochron Wand and then exile Unceasing Flames?
Maybe you don't have another Flames in your hand.
Okay, remember he played Flames that turn.
Oh, he did. He had a copy of Unceasing Flames.
Yeah. So, because I think Isochron Wand Unceasing Flames is like one of the few things that gets him out of the situation.
Yeah. Oh, that might be a huge misplay. And now, Just Nobody drains them.
Literally 3 non-creature spells kills Kevin here.
Yeah, that is not what you want to see. With only one duress, all right. What are we going to see? What are the last 2 cards in your hand?
Storm Surge Rogs. So he did have Rogs.
Rog's Frenzy and Storm Surge. Not going to get him out of this, though. Dropping down to 8. Maybe maybe Kevin thought that dropping a wand and Unceasing Flames was just going to be too slow. Oh no. Oracle's Vision. Drain 4. Kevin down to 4. Do we have the last non-creature spell?
I mean, he's drawing another card. He's going to have 4 cards in hand. It's pretty likely.
Gotta have it. Yeah, he's likely to have it. Just pulled away.
It would be very unlikely for him to not have.
We see a tap?
And that's it.
Yep, Seal the Tomb.
That's it. Good.
That is your
JN takes
game 3.
2-1. Villain is really putting it.
That was, yeah.
Dude, and for a Phoenix deck, I don't think he cast a Phoenix a single time this entire set.
Nope. He did not. We saw a lot of them. We saw them get dumpstered, but we did not see them cast one.
We saw Miyoga Firebirds. We didn't see any of the Mercurio's Familiar.
Okay, that was a really explosive match, game 3.
So what we've learned here today is Villainy is the best burn deck in the format. Why play actual burn when you could play black burn?
Black burn with an upside of drawing cards for burning your creatures.
also gaining life. But yeah. So I think other than like one or two things, I think that was really well played by both players. And hopefully we can see them do well in further in like the further rounds of the GP.
Um,
Hey, we have one of the players. We
let,
have Kevin right here.
we do. We have Kevin right here.
I'm right here, yeah, after being just thoroughly branched by villainy.
Mm-hmm.
The double villainy, that villainous monologue, was pretty hard to fight through.
Yeah, you had the Amulet of Loyalty, it's like the good sideboard tech versus Dead Man, but it still wasn't enough.
Yeah, that
Can you run us through the thought process of casting Unceasing Flames, but not casting Isochron Wand and then exiling Unceasing Flames? That
So I knew, like, I saw that one open band. It was like, he absolutely has Seal the Tomb in hand. So I wanted to. So I figured I fired off the one Unceasing Flames, for extra damage, and then leave up that 2 to basically, whatever it is, just make the target for the Seal the Tomb unvalid.
okay.
Plus, I didn't feel like the game was going to be going long enough for Isochron Wand to, like at that point, for Isochron Wand to be doing what it needs to do.
fair, okay.
Okay, so just under a double resolved villainy, you felt like you needed that flames damage now instead of the incremental every turn.
Yeah, and honestly, I think Wand was probably a bad sideboard choice for this. It's better against like a blue-white control deck or something really slow. Villainy is pretty fast.
Yeah, that was turn 5. That was a turn 5 kill.
That was villainy snowballs, especially when you can double up on them.
Mm-hmm.
Now, in knowing that your opponent was going to have villainies out or in their deck at least, and maybe out on the field, did your Festival of Winter's Nights come in?
I thought about it, but like the 3 mana,
Mm-hmm.
and honestly, like bouncing one villainy is alright, but for 3 mana, not really. And if he has 2 villainies or more, then I just lose, and you have to accept that.
Mm-hmm. Fair.
Okay, yeah, I can see where I can see that hesitance to bring in something that only deals with it for a turn for
Can you talk to us
that
about
much commitment.
Starlit Rays, Performer of Desire, and Chaldron's Rage in your sideboard, and whether did you consider them at all, or if not, why didn't you? If you did, well, what was like the thought process that eventually like left them?
I thought about Starlit Rays, but he's mostly a monocolor deck with very like he does have some non-basics, but Starlit Rays just would not be hitting as hard against him as it would against like a 3-color deck that's playing a bunch of different picks.
Fair, I guess, but he
Okay.
only has 5 swamps, and the rest of his deck is non-basics.
Does he? I thought I saw more on the list.
Nope.
No, his list in main deck and sideboard, there are only 5 basic lands. Um, but again, I could see same thing as Festival of Winter's Night. That could just be getting that down. Fabled could just be just a turn too slow, especially against 2 resolved villainies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Also, it seemed like bad luck that
yes,
you really didn't hit any of your phoenixes in all 3 games.
Yeah.
yeah. Though I did sideboard out the familiars.
Oh, really?
Because they were just too mana intensive.
Okay.
And they're also, I guess they're fragile because of the 2 toughness. It's not like Firebird where you can just toss like 2 or 3 and then just count them as like a 9 damage burn spell and be okay with that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and as for the Charlotte, Strikebreaker is a great card. It wasn't going to be what was going to kill me that game.
Mm-hmm.
I was dying to ability, not to a swarm of tokens.
That's fair.
Right.
Did you side out your Strike Bakers because of Wave of Decay and such?
Yeah, I figured would have brought in like Strikebreaker.
Well,
Uh-oh. Think we lost him.
Yeah.
Oh, there he is.
Yeah, he has like, yeah, no, he would have, like, if he wanted to deal with Strikebreaker, he would have had 4 main board with decays, which, that's not
Yeah.
gonna.
Yeah. Before the match started, Caillou and I were even talking about how much work Wave of Decay would pull in this matchup versus you. So citing out these Strikebreakers, definitely a good consideration.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like JN basically has like 3 Haymaker cards in that deck, which is Villainy, Memento Mori, and Wave of DK.
Mm-hmm.
Villainy, like, less so. Like, it depends, because I think, like, if you're playing, like, the slower game versus him, Villainy just crushes you. But there can definitely be games where, like, he'll tap out for Villainy turn 3, and then you'll kill him turn 4. While Wave of DK
Yeah.
and Memento Mori can be, like, a lot more proactive.
Wave of Decay definitely, and Memento Mori definitely lets JN slow down the first couple of turns to resolve that villainy. But yeah, if he's just banking on villainy, there's turns where he just drops it turn 3 and you untap and say, okay, here's all my creatures at your face. What are you gonna do about it?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of a shame I ended up going against him in the first round, because that was like one of the 3 decks I'm pretty sure my deck just instantly uses to, or just is abysmal against.
Mm-hmm.
The other 2 are Pitch Squeak's green black one, and actually your Enchantress one, because 4 main board Accords is not something this can fight through.
I think versus my deck, you're a lot more favored just because I lose so much life to my mana base that if I don't get like turn 2 like Serene Prayer or like Merc Chords or anything, it can be very easy to just like any stumble or misstep on my part is just like immediate game win for you. But if I get like turn 2 Accords like I did versus Fluffy, then yeah, it becomes difficult.
Yeah, then it's.
Because well, I just put Accords on 1, and then you just lose most of your deck.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, wonder if we can get Jay in here, so just like to get his perspective.
Yeah, let me add him. Okay, so what are the matchups that you're hoping to hit in like future rounds?
Probably like just another aggressive deck, really, a more creature-centric deck, or like a slow control deck for this to clown on.
So like Scrawls, Blue White, or like Mantis or something.
Yeah, something like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think Phoenix is a deck that I'm like high on, but I think Villainy is just like such a hard counter to it. So as long as people are playing Villainy, it's just hard to get it off the ground.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think like a quarter of the field is villainy decks. There's him, Pipsqueak, Well Seasoned, and I think one other.
I think I don't think so. I think Fifth used to have Villainies in the board, but I don't think they do anymore. So I think it's 3. So 25% of the field is Villainy.
Though I gotta say, the one I really want to go up against is the other Phoenix deck, the Isekai Artlink, because that just looks like it'll be fun.
Yeah, and you have the 3 sideboard Cold Grave. Do they have anything to side for you? Wait, let me check. Oh yeah, they also have 3 Cold Grave.
I think like probably the biggest mistake I made in this deck building, at least from how like the mana base played out, is not putting in the investigate lands.
Mm-hmm.
Well, wait, what are the investigate lands?
Uh, Heist Headquarters, the one you can pay 1, tap, sack, investigate. Like,
Do those? I'm not super familiar with those. I know they tap to investigate, but are they dual colored?
yeah, they're 2-colored.
Oh, okay. Okay, these are from villains. Okay.
Okay, Heist Headquarters. Oh, okay, and yeah, they're untapped. They're just pain lands. They're just upgraded pain lands. But I also felt like you were
Mhm.
always like kind of not like starved for lands, but like you were always on the edge of not having enough lands, but then you just kind of flooded out randomly.
Yeah, I definitely, like, if you just saw the board, it looked like that, but I definitely sandbagged some lands here and there, trying to bait out a duress or two.
Right. Yeah. We noticed in game 2, you kept 3 land hand, I believe, and drew a couple more with your card draw spells.
Yeah, that was painful.
It was really painful to watch.
And also, just game 3, like it discarded like half the lands in your deck just from like cantripping them out.
Yeah.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, Jay.
Yeah, we can.
Yeah, that's Jayan. Pilot of the
Great.
blue-black villainy deck. I assumed you were going to say something,
First
but
of
then he
all,
just went silent again.
uh-oh.
No, I was just checking. I don't know if you guys are in the middle of
Oh no,
talking about something else.
I think we
It's
were just kind of winding down, getting Kevin's perspective.
Yeah.
Unless Kevin has like anything else that you want to talk about regarding that set.
I wish I'd drawn more Mindstorm's Eye.
That's true. From game 1, one of the MVPs that I noticed definitely was Mindstorm's Eye. There were a couple of situations where you refilled your hand, and that's how you got that explosive game 1 out.
But yeah, how about you, Jay? I guess like the same questions they had for me, like sideboard moments and whatnot.
Yeah, so actually, we got to kind of see what Kevin sideboarded in. What did you sideboard in, and why?
I sideboarded in 3 Seal the Tombs and 1 Wave of Decay. Mostly, I wanted to bring in seals for Firebird, especially Unceasing Flames, and then also Bard and just good all-around disruption because I see your hand a lot and you fill your graveyard fast.
Okay.
So I use that to like hit your land game too. I also wanted to bring out my spells that make me lose life. Like game 1, I was kind of stuck with Through the Ashen Gate in my graveyard, and I would have loved to draw a card and make a construct, but I just couldn't afford to pay 2 life for that. So I took out both of those and then 2 of Dark Bargain because that also costs me life, and life is a really valuable resource in this matchup.
Okay. So you kept Thought Blossom in and all of your duresses.
Kept Thought Blossom and all.
Okay, interesting.
Because stopping that last point of burn is really important. Duress, I kept trying to catch you with Mindstorm's Eye in hand and force you to play it in response to Duress because that feels like a really powerful place for me. Because either I take the Mindstorm's Eye or the 3 cards you're left with, I get to take the best one out of it. I did have some unluck in that, especially in that game 1.
Yeah, like I said, game 1 played out like, what was it, like 20 lava spikes the deck, except... What do you mean Phoenixes? This is obviously the new innovation on the old Black Red 30 lava spikes deck. Yeah, did you consider, like, from your side?
Actually, I do have a question for JN. I noticed.
Sure.
Why didn't you sideboard in Abscond or Onyx? Because like Abscond. Oh, sorry. I was just wondering why you didn't bring in Abscond or Onyx Ritualist.
Interesting. Okay, I didn't feel like either of those would be useful there. Abscond, it looks like my targets were just your sideboard tech, right? We've got Amulet of Loyalties and Isochron Wands.
Yeah, main board, I don't think there is anything to grab because it's a non-creature permanent.
Well, reprising bar.
It's non-creature.
Oh, yeah, like non-creature?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, never mind. I misread that. Yeah, that was
and
probably
David,
a choice there.
before the game, we were looking through Jay and sideboard, and David like had the same misconception, so it's all good.
Yeah, no, I was super pumped for Abscond because I thought with a Celine out, you just take their strike breaker and then you just win. But no, Abscond is a non-creature permanent.
We were thinking like
because
yeah. Oh, I think.
No. I was just gonna say because Matt is smarter than I am at that.
Yeah, I think we were thinking like maybe bring in a 1-up Abscond if you got domed by Isochron Scepter game 2, but that didn't end up happening. And we also discussed Ank's Ritualist because I think the conclusion me and David came to is that like if Jayan's taking 3 from each lava spike and Kevin's taking 2, Jayan is gonna lose. So Ank's Ritualist just doesn't do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's how I felt too. I was not the aggro, but I did have the inevitability because once I stabilize with Villainy out, I don't think you're going to break through that. And so, like, just putting pressure on your life total didn't feel like it would be worthwhile.
Now, did you ever consider bringing in your Mind Ring? I know they're a slower counterspell against this really fast Lava Spike deck, but was it ever maybe to force through the last 3 points with a Stolen Scorch?
I thought about Mind Rip, not so much that I wanted it, but that I was thinking if it was worthwhile to get the last 2 Dark Bargains out of my deck since shocking myself hurts so much. But I decided against it just because it's slow. For 3 mana, I only trigger Villainy once. I need to be triggering Villainy as much as I can on turn 4 or I die.
Okay.
Fair.
On a similar note,
one thing I was wondering why you even though you saw the Amulet of Loyalties in game 2, I think, like you still kept in the deck.
Went for the seal.
Was that intentional or?
Yeah, I was honestly surprised you sided in Amulet of Loyalties. I didn't feel like that was a good card for you in that matchup, and I was usually happy for you to have it over, like, a Scorch. You probably noticed when I was hitting you with Duress, it was not my priority. Because your big pulls there are Deadly Manipulation and Celine for the counters. I was a little worried about Celine when you had such a stocked graveyard game 2, but at that point, I wasn't too worried about my spells getting countered because I was just burning you out with Villainy.
Wait, can you talk about Wither? Because I was interested because like it seems like a good removal spell, but then was the incremental life loss the reason that you decided to keep it out?
Yeah, so Wither is there for like decks with larger creatures where I want to get a like tempo positive trade, and I also like it because the Blight token I can sacrifice to Celine to draw a card.
Oh, that's an interaction I didn't consider. That's actually really cool.
Oh.
Yeah, also, like, my stuff is such slow toughness that Wave of Decay is just better.
And Wave of Decay, honestly, if I pay 4 mana to gain 3 life, that feels good against you, which is saying a lot. But I wouldn't mind that.
Yeah, I think
it's countering Scorch, basically.
Caillou and I were talking about that just a little bit, about how even a Field of Phoenixes, you just pay a couple for Wave of Decay, and then you got to be feeling a lot better.
Yeah.
Now,
I felt
go ahead.
Lucky that no Phoenixes came out. Sorry, you continue.
Was David going to say something?
Now, through the Ashen Gate, yeah, I was going to say something. I was waiting for him to finish. Through the Ashen Gate, not a card we see a lot. Is it in there just as a Villainy trigger? Is there some deeper hidden, like, I know it is your card. Is there some deeper hidden love for it?
Or it was kind of a deep pick, but the reasoning there, one of the big risks with Villainy decks is that you tap out turn 3, and your opponent takes you out turn 4 because they can swing in. And Through the Ashen Gate gives me a shock up, which just lets me tap out for Villainy and immediately kill a creature, even if they're dropping things with haste.
Okay, so nothing on that card matters as much as the flashback pay 2 life.
I mean, I think there's also like lots of
For Celine,
yeah, like the investigate for
the
Celine.
double clue token. Right, the double clue token is super valuable. The double black non-creature spell trigger for Strikebreaker and Villainy is really valuable, and that's the only thing that's gonna trigger those twice for 1 mana.
Okay.
So it's kind of competing like with what's that black escalate spell where you lose 1 life and draw a card and you can escalate it?
Honorless Offering.
Yes, Honorless Offering. So that was the slot, because it was between Honorless Offering, Dark Bargain, and Through the Ashen Gate, and they all kind of have their pros and cons.
Okay.
But I decided that being able to have that in my graveyard on turn 3 when I tap out for Villainy, getting the double trigger, was worth it, even if the actual card draw comes a little more slowly.
It also makes
That's
a lot
fair,
of sense
that's
when
fair.
your
And
main
getting
cantrip
tokens for Celine.
is Oracle's Vision, because then you run the chance of just like Oracle's Vision, draw a card, and then you end up milling Through the Ashen Gate, so you have like another Villainy trigger that turn, or just whenever you want it.
I didn't mention that, but with Oracle's Vision and also with Deadly Manipulation, I've discarded Through the Ashen Gate to Deadly Manipulation, and it feels really good.
Now, so
just from this discussion, do you consider going up on Through the Ashen Gate, or do you think it's good as a 2-of right now?
I was cautious. I've never seen that card played before. I didn't want to accidentally run something that turns out to just be a bad, painful 1 mana investigate. I'll let you know how I think at the end of this tournament. I'm still sort of figuring that out.
Yeah, we'll have to see. Especially the build you have now, it looks like, if not, I mean, it's not going to be like, a Villainy all-star, but with the Celines you have and all the little like synergies it has, it definitely feels like a very good fit for this style of deck.
Yeah, Monger's Blue-Black Villainy was doing really well, and so I wanted to test out Celine, but I also was cautious to stray too far from a list that I knew was successful, which is why Celine's only a 2-of, even though I've felt good every time I've cast her.
Yeah, there was
and
a
she's
point
also not
at the very end of game 2 where you just started rolling. You had Celine, you had Strikebreaker, you were making tokens, sacrificing for cards, and we were wondering whether you were
every spell draws 2 cards.
Yeah. We were kind of curious whether you were searching for the kill or you were just kind of styling, and in the end I think Caillou and I decided that was just to flex at the end of game 2 there.
Or was there a line
at the end of game 2?
Because
I mean, I wasn't killing any slower.
Vision, shock him in the face, then you swing out with your entire board.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, board state, they had Reprising Bard, and I think you had targeted the Bard with Villainy.
Is it because Celine is not maybe? Okay, actually, I think I figured out. It's because Celine is not optional. You have to sacrifice a permanent, right? Was that the thought?
Right, but every spell I cast makes a permanent with Strikebreaker, which then draws me a card with Villainy in addition to drawing a card with Celine.
But actually, no. Then you still had lethal. So yeah, actually,
I did have lethal. I had enough spells. He was at 4, and I had enough spells to take him out, and killing the Bard was honestly a mistake. It wasn't. I didn't need to do that.
Okay.
Yeah, but in that matchup, really, I think Villainy is the card that swings that matchup. I think it would be pretty tough for me to win versus the Lava Spike Phoenix deck if I don't manage to just slam a turn 3 Villainy.
Yeah, because that first game you didn't see one at all, did you?
I didn't see one.
No. So live or die by the Villainy, right?
Live or die by the Villainy. I think I have other matchups where I can win off a turn 2 Celine or Strikebreaker. Where Villainy is not as important. Especially, I think Oracle's Vision into Celine, especially if you're on the play, you can counter whatever they cast. They're pretty screwed. So that would be a fun curve I'm hoping to open with at some point.
Well, we will have to see because the Celine interaction has really like interested me. I don't think I've ever seen this card played, and it seems like it might be a breakout star.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it hasn't been played because this is the first rotation.
Oh, that's right. This is from the Highlands.
This is the first event. So that I think that's definitely like in my top 5 cards from Descent.
It seems to be, it puts in a lot of work, it looks like. Was Highlands legal for the skirmish that we did?
I believe so.
Highlands is legal for the skirmish.
Okay.
In the skirmish, I'm testing another card. I think it's Vitality of Blossoms. Is that the one, or is it? It's the elk that fetches a creature with converted mana cost 2 or less, which is
Scion.
Scion of Fecundity.
Scion of Fecundity.
That was the Warden Pod deck.
I think that's like the number one. Yes, that is the Warden Pod deck. Okay. It is a pretty resilient mid-range deck with a combo kill, which is a lot of fun.
Did you mean most of the decks that I've seen JN play ever?
That is, I think, my favorite archetype is being able to pivot between like a toolboxy mid-range deck, but then also having, even if it's like a kind of convoluted 4-card combo, having that option just to take down the matchups that mid-range would struggle in.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, I think there's one more question I think I had, which is one thing that I was thinking of like during this match is that like Oracle's Vision, like the symmetrical mill actually could like prove a problem in some matchups. Do you have like any plan to deal with that, or is it just kind of like something that you just have to grin and bear?
Plan is Steel and Memento Mori.
Okay.
I think if there was a very dedicated dredge deck, I might consider siding out Oracles, but mostly
like what about like
I think I have a good matchup in terms of graveyard hate.
Like the one that Tsushike's on, would you side it out in that one?
Let me check that list.
It's the green-black one which has the Slaughter, Merchant of False Lives, Disease Prophet, combo kill.
Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, this is a match where graveyard hate's gonna be really important. I wouldn't side it out for a useless card. I wouldn't side it out just for the sake of siding it out. Because it looks like Sushiska's gonna be milling themselves so much that 3 cards on top of that isn't gonna be what makes or breaks the matchup.
Okay.
Okay. So you value the 3 potential cards you could get for Celine or the clue you could flashback more than just dumping a couple in their graveyard. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And, not to mention it draws me a card.
Right. And you still have the Memento Mori's main board to fight through that game 1, and then you can bring in Seal the Tombs if you need to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think Memento Mori is like an incredibly powerful card, which is one of like the main strengths of these like black heavy villainy lists, is having access to that kind of main board edict plus grave hate, which is interesting because I feel like I've always been worried about Exunt as like our very powerful 1 mana instant speed removal, but honestly main board I'd rather have Memento pretty much in every deck because the grave hate option comes in so handy.
Yeah. And it saves you
like a sideboard type option, and that you'd want the cheaper.
Well, yeah, but Memento, because it pulls double duty, right? So you don't have to commit sideboard slots to Cold Grave if you don't think that the format you're playing in is going to have a lot of grave hate. You can just stick with the Mementos.
And also, ironically, there's like a lot more. There's a lot more grave heavy decks than there are decks where you need an answer on 1 for a creature.
There are a good number of decks where the sacrifice mode comes in real handy. You're right. Yeah, most of our creature-based decks are very low to the ground.
I think like Villainy having the flexibility of like having some of the best edicts in the format, but also having some of the best wipes as well, is really strong.
Mm-hmm.
Though I want like there was Key's like butt fight deck from the last GP, which it didn't do very well, but I think like something like that could be, or just like something which takes that principle could be an interesting like an interesting concept, just because I think like most of the good control-y type decks are no longer in white, so they're all like stuff where their wipes are like toughness based. So if there's like some better build or something that takes that principle, I think that would be interesting to see.
I will see. I know Pipsqueak and Scrawl have been kicking around that blue-white control list. But yeah, I know like if my deck faced enough large toughness creatures, like I wouldn't have very many answers to that.
I think the problem with blue-white is like it just doesn't have the I play Villainy on 3 and then in 2 turns I'm going to kill you type thing. Like it just doesn't have a win con that's as good.
No.
Yeah.
Blue-white has to wait a few more turns to stall out for its win cons.
Well, okay, I think unless there's anything else.
Well, thank you guys.
Yeah, this has been really fun, and it's been really interesting to get players' opinions after the match too. I think this is another first that we've done.
I really enjoyed it, and I'm excited to see the video that you guys end up putting together.
I am too, but as of right now, I am out of questions. And
yeah, I think this is a good place to wrap up. Thanks for commentating with me, David. That was super cool.